Hi students, how are you? Today is our second time to do a summer video, and I'm just really excited about meeting with you on the Zoom call on Friday. So let's talk about your assignment for this week. Okay, let me make myself smaller and move to the side. We are still on Voice of America's website. This time you're going to notice that we're looking at the beginner level, not because I don't think you can't do the intermediate. I know that you can, but there are some things that are on this level that I think are very interesting, and I hope that this is going to be good for you too. They've got some special things, and I want to show you something. When you go to the main website, you can click on beginner, and then you can scroll all the way to the bottom. And this is a little bit like an index. And do you see where it says video programs? You see lots of things in a list. So this week we're going to be doing some things that help you practice some vocabulary and also some grammar. And we'll still practice on some reading too, just not as long. So some shorter things. So I hope that that works for you with taking care of kids or with working your regular jobs. I know you have busy lives too. And so I hope that this is helpful. Remember, even if you cannot get to all these things, please try to come to the Zoom call. I'm still learning how to do Zoom in the best way. I know it wasn't perfect last time. I'm trying to make it a better experience for us, but please try to come if you can. All right, so this time we are going to be doing something called English in a Minute. You see it here. We're also going to be doing something called Everyday Grammar. You see it's right here, Everyday Grammar. And we're going to be doing something that's, where did that go? It's called Ask a Teacher. So it's down here. So the Ask a Teacher is actually a short reading. It's where students can write into this website and they ask a question. And they choose some of these questions and they do a short writing about those. And I think those are very helpful. All right, so I chose some of these for you already. So let's just go up here to see the English in a Minute. All right, this is what the web page looks like for English in a Minute. This time I'd like us to try 3 different English in a Minute ones. Each one has an expression. Some people call this an idiom, or they're just words in English that don't really say what the words actually mean. They mean something else, okay? So actually, I think if we're going to do these 3, these are the ones I want you to do. Go overboard, put down roots, let me move myself out of the way, and this one, cabin fever. Okay, so these 3. Go overboard, put down roots, cabin fever. So maybe all of those are new to you. There'll be a short movie about each one of those. Let's take a look together to see what those look like. I think that cabin fever is good for all of us right now because all of us might be feeling like we have a little bit of cabin fever. So let's watch this one together. We can talk about it a little bit.
Welcome to English in a Minute from home. A cabin is a small wooden structure. So, what could it mean to have cabin fever?
Jonathan, I really need to get out of this house.
Sounds like you've got cabin fever. Maybe you should take a walk.
I've taken 5 walks today, and it's not even 10 a.m. I need to see my friends in person in a restaurant.
Yeah.
When you are stuck indoors because of bad weather, an illness, or some other reason, you may start to feel bored and even trapped. This feeling can be called cabin fever. And that's English in a minute.
Okay, so all of you, and me too, might feel like we are stuck indoors. Why are we stuck indoors right now? We might not be stuck indoors. Maybe you can go outside, right? But we do not have the freedom like we used to have because of the virus, because of coronavirus. Maybe we cannot go to school the way we would normally have summer school. I really want to see you. I really want to have class, but I can't. I have been in this apartment for a long time. So I don't have a cabin. A cabin is like a very small, normally made out of wood house. I don't have that. I have like an apartment, okay? And many of you are in an apartment or a house. So, and I don't have a fever, I'm fine, but I feel like I am stuck in my house because I can't see you. Maybe I could come and see you outside. We could sit a distance away from each other, maybe 6 feet apart, maybe wear a mask over my nose and mouth, right? But after a long time, many days inside, you begin to feel stuck, right? Some of you told me on the Zoom call, you are tired of being inside. You are tired every day the same. You are tired of the same thing again and again. But you understand because there is a virus and we have to stay safe. But this feeling of feeling stuck, this is sometimes called cabin fever. So if I say, how are you doing? You might tell me, oh, teacher, I have cabin fever. I say, me too. I have cabin fever too. Okay, so that is one of your new words. All right. So now what you will do is you will go back to the same thing. You will learn these other English in a minute. You are going to go over the other ones. I will send you those in a text because maybe you don't remember which ones. All right. Okay, now one of the other things that we are going to do is everyday grammar. So here is what that looks like. Again, do you see how many there are? So many everyday grammar. And if you are very bored and you want to do more than those two, that's great. You are welcome to do that. Okay, but we will maybe talk about these two, collocation and such as a gerund. We've talked about gerund in class, but maybe you forgot. This will be a good reminder about that. Okay, so you will go to these two. Collocation just means words that we often use together. So you will watch those short little videos. I think they are like 1 minute, 2 minutes, maybe. Okay, so there's the one on collocation, watch that. And there is the one on things like gerunds that we use everyday grammar. So I want you to go to these two. You don't need to do anything with them. There's no writing assignment. Just listen to them. Maybe I will ask you some questions about them. Okay, and then the last one is the one about where it says ask a teacher. And this one is especially important, I think, because it is about talking about staying safe. So it says ask a teacher, and it's how to talk about staying safe. So you might have read in the paper or heard on the news that right now, the coronavirus, there are a few more cases right now. And so it is very important that we stay safe, that we don't become lazy or casual about it. I know we might have cabin fever, but we still need to try to stay safe because we don't want to get sick and we don't want to spread the virus to other people. So we want to try to stay safe. So this gives us the language that we need to talk about staying safe. All right, so we're going to go through this together a little bit. We'll start together. Now, this is like a movie, but there's not really any movie pictures. It is mostly listening. So they just have this big picture here, but then this is what you press to listen. And then they have all the words for you to follow down below. That's really nice. So you will follow the words while you are listening. So what happened here is someone wrote in and they asked the teacher a question about how to ask the questions, how to have the conversation about staying safe. And the teacher is answering the person's question. So here's the answer. Here's a picture about the question and the answer. In the dark print, called bold print, there are some important words like advanced, the noun social distancing. You have probably heard this. They explain what that means. What is social distance? And how do you use social distance? How do you use social distancing? Okay. Here are the reasons why. Why do we have to social distance? Here are some other words. A term, flatten the curve. You've probably heard flatten the curve. There's another word, overwhelmed. And this is important. You have probably heard them talk about frontline workers. So we'll talk about who are the frontline workers? What does that mean? So they talk about that. Okay, and then at the bottom, there are some words, and it tells you what part of speech. Is that a noun? Is it an adjective? An adverb? All right, so they only this time have 4 words. Actually, this story is only 4 minutes long. Right, so I will begin to play it, but then I will stop because I want you to be able to do this someplace by yourself, maybe when your kids go to bed or sometime when you have a quiet time where you can listen and not be interrupted. So it goes like this.
This week, we answer a question from
Here's the
Terrence
words.
in Vietnam. He writes, which of the following forms is more correct in English usage?
Can you follow along here?
Yes, we can go out, but we need to be social distant from one another. Or, yes, we can go out, but we need to be social distanced from one another. Terrence, Vietnam.
Now she
Dear
answers.
Terrence, thank you for this timely question. The expression social distancing is new to everyday English. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, uses it to describe the practice of avoiding gatherings and keeping about 2 meters distant from other people. One sign of this social distancing is the markings on floors of some shops. They show where we should stand in relation to others.
Okay, so you see in the picture, these stickers, they are showing that distance apart, that you are apart from one another. All right, so I stopped the reading because I think it's best if you do this on your own, and then I would love to talk about this together when we are back together once again on Friday. So planning to have that Zoom call on Friday. Now, if you are not able to make the Zoom call, but you would still like to talk, send me a message. I'd be happy to talk with you on the telephone. Just tell me when is a good time to talk. I would love to visit with you. All right, I look forward to seeing you on Friday, and I will send you this message, and also I will remind you about where those things are that I want you to listen to. Have a great week. I look forward to seeing you on Friday. Bye.